in the justice system. Always, always.
But without him being my first thought waking up.
Sexually assaulted in the restroom by a stranger.
On October 12, 2012, Carter Poston, a prominent lawyer from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, was tragically killed by his on-again, off-again girlfriend, Shayna Michelle Hubers. Hubers, who had been involved in a tumultuous relationship with Poston for approximately 18 months, claimed that she acted in self-defense during the fatal incident. Carter Poston, born in 1982 to Jay Poston and Lisa Carter, was the eldest of 4 siblings, including 3 younger sisters. Poston was a dedicated student, excelling academically throughout his life. After completing high school, he pursued higher education at Indiana University, where he undertook a challenging triple major in history, geography, and political science. His academic excellence continued as he earned his law degree from Northern Kentucky University. Poston's legal career took off in Cincinnati, Ohio, where he was known for his dedication and skill in the field. In 2011, Shayna Hubers, a psychology student at the University of Kentucky, met Poston through Facebook. Despite the challenges of a long-distance relationship, they began dating. Their relationship was characterized by frequent breakups and reconciliations, reflecting a volatile dynamic. On the night of October 12, 2012, Poston was scheduled to go on a date with Audrey Bolt, Miss Ohio USA 2012, but instead, he was murdered by Hubers. Hubers' account of the night was that she shot Poston 6 times in his condominium in Highland Heights, Kentucky, claiming she did so in self-defense. She described instances of Poston belittling and bullying her in public, citing these actions as the reason for her drastic response. Following her arrest, Hubers was held in Campbell County Jail, unable to post bail. Her trial commenced on April 13, 2015, where she pleaded not guilty to the murder charges. The prosecution contended that the murder was premeditated, aiming to permanently sever their tumultuous relationship. Conversely, the defense argued that Hubers was a victim of ongoing domestic abuse and that her actions were a result of self-defense. The trial brought to light several pieces of evidence, including text messages that indicated Hubers' obsession with Poston. Witnesses included Hubers' former cellmate, who testified about her behavior, and Poston's family members. A friend of Hubers, Cicely Miller, revealed that Hubers had boasted about the murder and made inappropriate comments about it. On August 14, 2015, Hubers was sentenced to 40 years in prison, with eligibility for parole after 34 years. However, her conviction was later overturned on appeal due to a juror's prior criminal conviction. A second trial took place on August 28, 2018, during which Hubers was again found guilty of murder. This time, she was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 20 years, a decision made on October 18, 2018. Hubers' case remains a poignant example of how intense personal relationships can lead to tragic outcomes and the complex nature of legal defenses in such situations. Jodi Arias, The Grisly Tale of Jealousy and Murder. Jodi Ann Arias is another figure whose story has captured public attention due to its gruesome nature. Arias, who murdered her ex-boyfriend Travis Victor Alexander on June 4, 2008, shocked the community with the brutality of the crime. Alexander, a successful salesperson from Mesa, Arizona, was killed in his home by Arias, who inflicted 27 knife wounds and a gunshot to the head. The crime scene was gruesome. Alexander had defensive wounds on his wrists, and his jugular vein, carotid artery, and trachea were cut. These details pointed to a premeditated murder. The investigation uncovered deleted photographs of the couple in provocative sexual positions taken just hours before the murder, and DNA evidence was found on a bloody palm print on the bathroom hallway wall. Initially, Arias denied involvement in the murder and claimed she was not in Mesa on the day of the crime. She alleged that Alexander had been abusive toward her, and she acted in self-defense. However, the evidence presented in court contradicted her claims. During the trial, Arias admitted to the murder, but insisted it was done in self-defense. Her record of dishonesty and the evidence against her led to a conviction for first-degree murder. The jury found Arias guilty, but could not reach a consensus on the death penalty. As a result, Arias was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The trial received extensive media coverage, with many people grappling with how such a violent crime could occur in a seemingly normal relationship. Michelle Carter, a case of texts and tragedy. Michelle Carter's case is particularly complex due to its implications regarding emotional manipulation and suicide. On July 13, 2014, Conrad Roy III, just 18 years old, took his own life. His girlfriend, Michelle Carter, then 17, had been encouraging him to commit suicide through a series of text messages. Carter's texts, which were analyzed in court, revealed a disturbing pattern of urging Roy to follow through with his suicide plans. Despite Roy's history of mental health struggles and prior suicide attempts, Carter continued to push him towards his fatal decision. The prosecution argued that Carter's repeated encouragement played a significant role in Roy's death, leading to her being charged with involuntary manslaughter. The court found Carter guilty, concluding that her actions were a substantial factor in Roy's death. Originally sentenced to 2.5 years in prison, Carter's sentence was later reduced to 15 months, of which she served 11. The case highlighted significant ethical questions about the responsibility one person has for another's mental well-being and the role of digital communication in such cases. Ezra McCandless, a tale of deception and violence. Ezra McCandless, born Monica Kay in 1997, had a troubled past that led to a tragic end. Raised in Stanley, Wisconsin, McCandless experimented with different names and pronouns during high school before legally changing her name to Ezra McCandless. In August 2017, she moved in with her boyfriend, Jason Mengel, a National Guard medic. Around the same time, she started a secret romantic relationship with Alex Woodworth, a 23-year-old barista and substitute teacher. Tensions arose when McCandless accused one of Mengel's friends of sexually assaulting her, an allegation that Mengel did not support. This led to a public argument, and McCandless's relationship with Mengel deteriorated. On March 22, 2018, McCandless was found covered in blood and mud at a dairy farm, claiming she had been assaulted. Detectives later discovered Woodworth's body at the farm, where he had been stabbed 16 times. McCandless was arrested and later convicted of Woodworth's murder. Although she initially claimed memory loss, the evidence suggested premeditation and an attempt to stage the murder as self-defense. She was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole and showed no remorse during her sentencing. Camilla Gamet, a case of self-defense or murder. Camilla Gamet's case involves a controversial claim of self-defense. Gamet was convicted of first-degree murder after the death of her 38-year-old boyfriend, Marcel Hill, on May 18th. Gamet testified that she killed an intruder in self-defense, but the evidence presented in court painted a different picture. Hill had suffered multiple stab wounds and a beating, leading the jury to question Gamet's claim. Gamet's defense argued that she acted in self-defense, but the prosecution highlighted the excessive violence used in the attack. The jury found her guilty, and she was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The case underscored the challenges of distinguishing between genuine self-defense and premeditated murder, particularly in cases involving intimate partners. These cases reflect the complex interplay of emotions, relationships, and legal interpretations, shedding light on the darker aspects of human behavior and the quest for justice in the face of such tragedies. Each story highlights the profound impact of personal relationships on individuals' actions and the intricate nature of legal defenses in cases involving violence and murder.